do not agree with what's going on. 1 year down the line, a lot of things have not happened, despite the president promising so many times that, you know, he's going to do something. And so personally, I took it as a personal responsibility to go ahead and push for the right things to be done.
Well, thank you. We'll continue, and you'll tell us about the real concerns that you think are really pegging this country. Let me come to you. Street ilikuwaje, and why were you there today?
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Mururungano from Nyandarua. I'm a youth leader and also a founder of a movement by the name Young Liberators. So we were here today. We came and joined our fellow Gen Zs kutoka asubuhi, and in the morning the protests were very peaceful. We were out there doing our thing, marching, singing, playing football. Uliona hiyo.
Nata sauti yako sahi, volume yako imereduce kama venye ulikuwa unaongea asubuhi.
Yeah, it's been quite a day. So tuko hapo, we are marching, we are singing, and then out of nowhere, instead of police protecting us, watupe ulinzi, they started tear gassing us. People who had nothing on their hands, just a flag, na firimbi. So they saw us as their enemy. I don't know, they were given instruction, maybe to make sure we do not converge in one place. So they were like, at any point when they see the Gen Zs are converging, they use the tear gas to disperse us. And at some point, kuna mahali, siwezi sahau because it was so scary, kuna mahali, tear gas from this side, the other side. So we converged in an area, and then kujiangalia, we are surrounded by some kind of goons. So I think the aim of police, they were collaborating with the goons. Ndio tuingie mahali, tupore simu zetu. Of course, tukibiwa simu, we won't go live. But we thank God, we survived through the day. And tunasema bado mapambano. Siku ijaisha bado, masaa iko.
Masaa iko.
Yeah.
But then let me ask you, what really took you to the streets, and what message were you trying to pass?
Okay, first of all, this was a special day. We were out in the streets to commemorate our brothers who lost their lives last year, June 25th. And also we were there to air our voices to our president, because we still have some who are missing. So we would like our president maybe to lower his ego, let me call that, and calm down and listen to us as the Gen Zs. And he should actually not view us as his enemies. Hata anafaa aone tunamsaidia kwingine. Because once you come down to the level of the Gen Zs, I think whatever we are seeing in the streets today will not keep on happening. Because businesses are affected, the Kenyan economy is being affected. Now, the more they are killing us, the more the Gen Zs will come out. Okay. And I'm so sure you've seen Gen Zs today, hawakutuangusha. They came out in large numbers here in Nairobi, Nakuru, Nyeri, where I come from, Olkalao. And
how has Olkalao been?
Yeah, Nyandarua is actually the capital city. Yeah, Olkalao is the capital city of Nyandarua. And there is one person who has been allegedly shot dead. And actually, as we are talking, we are seeing on social media the police station is on fire because of the anger, the public anger by what has transpired today. So we are really, I don't know if this is pleading, but we will continue marching on until president wetu aamue kutusikiza. Na kuna mahali itafika sasa tuamue sasa hata si one term, ni half term.
Okay, thank you so much, Mudhedi. Let me come to you, Njuguna. You're also from Young Liberators. How was the streets today, and what was really the message?
Today we came together to commemorate our fallen heroes, and to remind their families that they are even though they have fallen, they are not forgotten. And today, actually, Nyambura forgot to say that we didn't come in the morning. We came yesterday. Si tulilala huku.
Oh.
Tulilala hapa.
Uh-huh.
Because we had to be here. We had to be here.
Because you thought mutaweza fungiwa ama? Mumetoka all the way from Olkalau?
Yeah.
From Olkalau, so you've come to Nairobi.
The funny thing is that yesterday, hata tuko tumepanga vizuri ama tutakuja ama tutakuja, but si tulikuwa tunapanga the strike ya Olkalau and the demos. The demos, we are hoping that it will be peaceful. Si tukaenda the processes za the demos kutayarisha nini, and unfortunately I would like to condole with the family of the lost brother from Olkalau. It's very unfortunate that we had to lose a life because it was unseen. Si tulikuwa, it was meant to be peaceful, but we mourn with the family. Na it's very unfortunate that even the police station has been set ablaze.
So even let me come to you, Andrew, as well. What are your main concerns? Mkiwa huko majuu, you monitor what's happening in the country. What are your concerns when it comes to governance of this particular country and the reasons as to why you were in the streets?
Specifically for today, we went to the street because we were looking to see the government fulfill what it promised that it's going to fulfill after last year's protest. Number one, family compensation. That has not been done. I think it was yesterday when I heard the Cabinet Secretary for Interior say that, oh, now we can meet with the family. You took 1 year to actually know that you can meet with the family. And we know those are just rhetoric. It's just meant to water down what was going to happen today. Number two, we want all those who were affected, like businesses, those who are still in the hospital, all those bills paid, Number three, we want abductions to end. Because the president, I was actually listening to how many times the president has said that abductions are going to end. More than 5 times. More than 5. Yet yesterday at night, we had in the news that, someone from, I think Itangela was abducted. Someone else from another place was abducted last week. So we really do not understand why the president says one thing and actually does the exact opposite of that. And that's why we were out today to emphasize that we really want a country that listens, or a government that listens to its citizens. We are the majority. We are like more than 75 of us. So if you do not listen to the majority, who actually are you? Are you governing? These policies that you make are going to affect us now and also in the near future. And so if you do not listen to us, why are you making these policies?
And with the happenings of today, Nyambura, because you have been on the streets today, do you feel like the message has actually reached the intended person?
Unfortunately, we know the character we are dealing with. And we feel like even if the president comes out, maybe addresses the issues that took us to the streets, just like what he has said, he says this and then he does exactly opposite of what he has promised. Like, for example, about the finance bill 2024. He came out in the public and said to me drop your finance bill. But look at what Kimani Ichung'wah said. Juzi tu. He said that they amended the 2023 finance bill, and everything that we were against, they actually made sure wame amend kwa the finance bill yenye inatumika sahi. So you see a scenario like that, it's like even the president and the MPs, the yes sir MPs are actually ni kama wanajaribu kutuonyesha hii si kitu mnafanya, kutokea kwa streets mtatokea alafu mrudi. So they are actually poking us.
Na hata venye umesema kutokea kwa streets alafu hizi vitu zinaisha, saa zingine mna feel ni kama hizi protest tunatokea kwa street tunakuwa tear gassed. Is the protesters or is the protest really making an impact?
Yeah, I can say it is making an impact because looking back in 2023 before sasa hii maandamano ya last year 2024, ukiangalia saa hizi even the way politicians were like wako na ego, wanakuja kwa ground, they are there lying to our parents, wapanga line and everything. Right now everyone is fearing Gen Z movement. So they are not doing like what they were doing back then. They are not, hata wakikuja ground wanajua hapa anajua kinaweza umana. So Gen Zs are acting as the vigilante. Yeah.
Megeuzwa maumau.
Tumegeuzwa maumau. Actually tunasema sasa sisi si maumau, sisi ni wabaya kuliko maumau. Because a leader hakuji kutudanganya. Ukisema kitu yenye Gen Z are not agreeing with, they are telling hapo hata hautoki hapa, uendelee kuongea. So I can say we have made an impact. And also president, we know mahali yako hata yeye ameingiza uoga, ameingiza baridi. And that is why unaona wakikata live coverage. Yeah, so we can say we have quite achieved something. Yes, hatujafika mahali tunataka, but we have quite achieved something.
Yeah. And Juguda, let me come to you. Venye amesema mmegeuzwa kuwa vigilante. I heard somewhere that Mau Mau squeezy, the next generation of Mau Mau will not be in the forest, they will be in the digital platform.
Sure.
They will be online. Are you one of them? And if you're one of them, is it impactful? Is the protest impactful? Is what you're doing right now impactful? Lama mnaona tu this is not going anywhere.
Despite not having achieved what maybe we might have looked for, I think it's very impactful. One, it's that now the government wanaona that they are reading an empowered citizenship. Now, ukiona mtu like last year, we questioned it was unheard of before kuona wananchi that they are questioning like the finance bill. We have been used to this culture of tunaletewa, yani tumezoea sisi, as in we don't question whatever the government is doing, and it has been a very imekuwa culture ambayo the government, that's why I think
inapitisha tu vitu bila public participation.
That's why I think this government inaona ni kama tumeikalia, because now we are more empowered. Tunasema hapana, if this thing is not for the people, if not, it's not going to bring the goodwill kwa wananchi, then it's not necessary. We can do, there's some things that we can do away with. For example, like now, see, we are graduates, lakini manze mimi nauza kabeji pale kijiji. And not that it's that bad, but we have to, kama serikali saizi, it has to, like my friend here, maybe he might tell us, there are infrastructures shule. Here we are taught how to work. Tunafunzwa venye utasoma, wajiliwe,
white collar.
White collar jobs. But we are not given the entrepreneurship skills, which are important. Like saizi tuna hustle, yet the jobs that tunafanya saizi ni za dropouts, if I may call it that way. But we are graduates.
But what do you think should be done now? Because you're talking about liberation of the education sector to make it free and intentional. What are your thoughts around it? Unaona nini inafaa?
I think the thing is that as much as they are trying to educate, they should also try to give the isikuwe tu ni ile ya usome uajiliwe. Let them make na so ili niji now we are empowered. It's not that watu wengi sahi wanapotelea kwenda nchi empowerment. So we feel that the safest way kufanya ni kwenda nchi zingine to be in the modern labor slavery, which is which is not, I think it's not right for us.
Na since tuko na Andrew hapa, Andrew, what made you go abroad? Because I know the Kenyan education system is it's good. It's good, if we might say that. But then what made you move?
I would say there was an opportunity, and so I decided to take it up.
You grabbed it.
Yeah.
And how is the infrastructure and everything compared to what Njuguna is mentioning right here?
I think the education system here and US is a little bit different. First of all, you get empowered to be able to, you know, get a job, but also create jobs. But in addition to that, the environment is friendly. Unajua kitu moja naweza sema here, the young people here are really trying to create those jobs for themselves. For example, through digital marketing, you know, TikTok and all that. But again, the government comes in with 15% tax or like 20% tax. My friend here labda anajaribu kuuza cabbage huko home. Alafu watu wakanjo wanakuja wanaanza kumsukuma. Yet they get paid their money. And even if, and I think the problem is not that we do not want to pay tax, or the problem is not that we do not want to pay any amount that the government wants to pay. The problem is we pay, but then this money just does nothing. Or we see people walking around with, you know, gunia za pesa. Hata siku hizi nasikia kuna mtu mwingine anaitwa Mr. Money Bag. Because amekuwa akitembea na we would
opulence.
Pay. Yeah, we if we actually the difference. Kule people, but they appreciate because barabara ikiharibika next year inakuja natengenezwa. So they can see where the money is going. We do not see the value of money here. People do want to pay taxes. People are ready to create job employment opportunities. But then when the government comes in and start taxing you a lot of money, and then they start using it to buy mandazi, kufanya meeting state house, wapi. Then they allocate all this amount of money for state house renovation. Yet they did that last year. Like there is a lot of opulence that the same president last year said that he was going to cut. Right now we are talking about, I don't know, I think around 57 PS. Something that has never been had. Why do we have so many departmentals? Like,
there's so many issues.
So many of them. Yeah.
Wow. I like that duplication of roles with the state agencies. So we've talked about the education sector, entrepreneurship as the major concerns with the Gen Z as we are commemorating June 25th. What are other concerns zenye zilikuwa zinawauma sana, zenye zinawatoa kwa nyumba, zenye mnasema this must change? Nini inakupea that drive?
Okay. Personally, I'm into politics, right at the center of it. So, like the case of our deputy president, huyo mwenye anaitwa Mr. Moneybag. Ukiangalia pesa ukiangalia pesa yenye anadisha utuku nje, clearly you can see hiyo si salary yake. So, we have reached a point where the development expenditure iko chini ya recurrent expenditure. Kwa sababu they are impressed ya president na ofisi yake inakwanga kwa recurrent expenditure. Like last month Nyandarua waliita grassroots 5,000 grassroots leaders wakawapeleka Karen. Our leaders walitoka huko na every person, nilisikia ilikuwa 3,000 but ni kama ilikuwa imepeanwa 5,000 and then wale leaders walitoa wakaikatia juu. So walipata 3,000. If you do your maths, in one day ameitana grassroots leaders 5,000 wa Nyandarua County. In one day anaspend around 30M.
Which most of you consider it as mismanagement of resources?
Yeah.
The
same taxes they are telling us to pay. And then unapata that amount of money is being spent. That is one person. Ujiangalia kwenye president ameshinda and then the MPs pia wanapeleka pesa kwa ground. And then you look at a case where schools don't have capitation. We don't have help on time. And also bursaries ni kama wanataka kuturudisha time yenye hatukuwa devolved government. So bursaries zimekatwa. I've told you I'm a youth leader in Nyandarua, so I get a lot of complaints from comrades kama wa hiyo National Polytechnic iko hapo, some wenye wako outside, wenye wako universities.
Na hizo complaints ni gani?
Yeah, I can tell you for a fact, I know a number of people who went to school for semester 1, wakakaa shule, they applied for help, bursaries. For the bursaries, they were given checks. Kwenda ku cash out, the checks are empty, hakuna pesa.
Zina bounce.
Zina bounce because kuna disagreement between the MCAs and the national government. And then help imecheleweshwa kukuja. So for that student amekuwa shule for a whole semester. And then kufika pale kufanya exam, hana exam card. Why? Hajalipua school fees. Mzazi ame make sure huyu mtoto ame remain shule, amemfeed for a whole semester. Hata kama ni wewe, you will feel wasted. And that is why you are seeing them today in the streets. Comrades wanaumia because the school fees has doubled. And we thank God that we are a generation yenye school fees, we went through the free education. And I'm quite 100% sure that where the soul of our late president Mwai Kibaki is, he must be very proud of the generation he brought up.
It's actually this generation that really experienced. It's the Gen Z movement that were in that particular era. What, Njuguna, what are your thoughts in regards to this? Those are some of the issues. He's talked about the education sector, na vitu zenye Gen Z wanaumia for sure. Wewe ukiangalia ni nini hizo zinawasha watu sana? Because the anger that we actually seeing out there, iko crazy. What is spurring this anger?
First, nataka kuambia the readers that the Gen Zs are not crazy. It's just that they have been locked out of the system. We have been locked out. The issue is, I think, like for example, right now, I'm afraid that juu nilikuwa kwa street leo, sijui venye nitafika mtaa. Juu naogopa manzi. Juu sijui ama atanikujia mtaa ama atanimalizia kwa streets.
You have the fear.
We have, I think we have overcome the fear, but it's the range. Now we have range. It's more than fear. The thing is, hata nikikaa nyumbani, like for example, a friend Albert aliendewa kwa nyumbani. The parents are afraid that they are not sure that watoto wao watarudi nyumbani. And how safe they are, their children are wakiwa kwa streets. So I think that has fueled anger and emotions. Venye ndo maana unaona like we have been even some Gen Zs tasema tumekuwa mentally we are not stable. We are not because now the range we have in us inatufanya hata tukue suicidal. That's why unaona we make jokes with things zenye that they are beyond our control. Ndio unaona leo yani unaona online it's easy for someone to even to create a suicidal note because now
okay, Jiguna. We'll still come back to you.
Because of the range.
Pertinent issues right there. They've talked about accountability, mismanagement of funds, gaps in the education sector. Hiyo ndo imefuel sana hii hasira yenye mmeona leo, and that's why they actually out there on the streets. Let's continue with this conversation, and remember you can engage us at K24 TV and also at Kameme TV Kenya in all our social media platforms as we continue to monitor as the situation unfolds. But then let's move to Kagina on the other side to continue with this conversation as well.
Kiula, tukiendelea kupasha taifa on what's currently happening in different parts of the country, how it has been since the morning hours. And I'm told right now action is still ongoing, where we have our reporter anaitwa Sami Adika, who is currently hapo Ngara, and is currently on standby with the latest update on what is currently happening. From the pictures, it's clear there is enough smoke coming out from there, and the road is already barricaded. Adika, if you can hear me, ground kunasemaje?
Na asante sana Kagina, tunakujia moja kwa moja kutoka steni hii ya Fig Tree iliyoko eneo la Ngara kwenye barabara ya Thika. Hivi sasa jinsi unavyotizama nyuma yangu ni kuwa moto bado unaendelea kuwaka. Vijana bado wakiendeleza tu azma yao ya kuitaka serikali ama kuishurutisha serikali ya Rais William Ruto kubadili mienendo na pamoja tu na kuonyesha ghadhabu walio nayo, ikiwa tu ni dakika 51 tangu saa 11. Ikumbuke kulingana na sheria maandamano yanaruhusiwa hadi saa 11 jioni, ila kufikia sasa vijana bado wapo kwenye barabara hii. Shughuli katika steni hii bado tu imesalia mahame, huku madereva wakiwa wameondoa gari zao, maana mwendo wa asubuhi tuliona polisi walikuwa wameweka vizuizi kwenye barabara hii ya Thika eneo la Guru Nanak, ila kufikia sasa wengi ambao wanaelekea nyumbani kutoka jiji la Nairobi wanalazimika kutembea kwa miguu. Jinsi unavyotizama kwenye mkono wangu wa kushoto, iwapo tu mpiga picha wangu ataweza kuchukua picha hizo, wengi wa vijana ambao wameondoka tu kwenye jiji la Nairobi, wale ambao walijihusisha kwenye maandamano ya siku ya leo pamoja na wale ambao walikuwa wameelekea kazini, hivi sasa wanalazimika kutembea kwa miguu hadi pale ambako polisi walikuwa wameweka kizuizi eneo la Guru Nanak mwendo wa asubuhi. Ila kufikia sasa tumeshuhudia tu makabiliano makali dhidi ya polisi na waandamanaji, haswa vijana ambao kufikia sasa bado wamezuia shughuli katika barabara hii. Imesalia tu kusimama. Hivi sasa naona polisi pia wamejaribu kujaribu kuzima moto ambao vijana hao walikuwa wamewasha dakika chache zilizopita kuzuia tu shughuli katika barabara hii, wengi wao wakisema kuwa sharti Rais William Ruto aweze kusikiza lalama walizonazo. Ila tu kufikia sasa steni hii ya Fig Tree imesalia mahame. Nimeona madereva wengi wamelazimika kuacha gari zao eneo hili, maana hakuna wateja, ila tu barabara tofauti zimesalia pia kufungwa na polisi. Ila tu mwendo mchache tulipofika hapa tuliona kuwa baadhi tu ya vijana walikuwa bado wanasema wajamalizana na maandamano, sharti wataendelea kuishurutisha serikali. Imekuwa zaidi kuanzia mwendo wa saa 3 asubuhi tumeshuhudia makabiliano makali baina ya polisi na waandamanaji, haswa vijana wa kizazi cha Gen Z. Hivi sasa licha ya wengi wao eneo la jiji la Nairobi kumaliza maandamano, wamelazimika tu kuja kuendeleza ghadhabu walionayo na serikali ya Rais William Ruto eneo hili la Ngara, kando tu ya steni hii ya Fig Tree. Jinsi unavyotizama naona wengi wazee kwa vijana wakilazimika kutembea wakielekea nyumbani, ila tu eneo la steni bado tujaona magari yoyote, ila tu kuna magari machache ambayo hayana madereva, lakini wengi wao watalazimika kuelekea eneo la Guru Nanak, ambako ninaamini hivi sasa kuna baadhi tu ya magari ambayo yanawaruhusu kuabiri tu na kuwapeleka kule wanakoelekea. Ila kwa sasa tunatarajia kuona iwapo polisi watarejea muda mchache kutoka sasa, maana walikuwepo kujaribu kuzima moto, ila sasa wamelazimika kurejea kwenye jiji la Nairobi. Nitakuwa na kufahamisha mengi tu, ila kutokea hapa nitakuwa naelekea kwenye vizuizi ambazo polisi walikuwa wameweka mwendo wa asubuhi kujua hali ikoje, ila kufahamu iwapo wametoa vizuizi hivyo. Kagina, na rejesha usukani upande wako.
Shukran Adika. Thank you very much for the update. You can see the 3 barricades ambazo zimewekwa hapo na waandamanaji wakifunga barabara kwa kuwasha magurudumu. Na kwa sasa hivyo ndo ground inakaa upande wa Ngara. Upande mwingine wa studio tuna Majibu kwa ground kama kawaida. Majibu, kuna semaje uliko?
June 25th, vitu mingi zimehappen sana leo. Kutoka Rende ya Thika Road, kutoka sijui wapi, Mombasa Road, Waiyaki Way, Jogoo Road, wote mission ilikuwa moja, kuingia State House. wote, hata mimi nimekuwa maandamano leo bana, kama unacheki, but kucover demos. Niko na wasomi kwa ground, labda kupaint tu hali venye imekuwa ground leo. Niko na Mr. Lavani Mila. Umekuwa ground leo, imekuwaje compared to the other demonstrations, na pia umeachieve kenye mlikuwa mnadai leo?
Leo imekuwa historical. That's what I can say. Today has been historical, unexpected and historical, and it is still happening. It is not over yet. So in terms of achieving what we wanted to achieve, no, we haven't achieved it yet, because we want a lot from, and the reason why people are coming out to the streets today is not because they just want to show off that we are here, we are angry. We are very particular. We want William Ruto gone. We want this regime gone. And that is because they are at the helm. They oversee corruption, they oversee poverty, they oversee abductions and the death of our fellow comrades and Kenyans. So that is our goal, and that is why we are on the street today.
Aya, Mr. James, leo mikwaje? Pia umekuwa ground, sasa hivi uko hapa, bado kutoka hapa bado mission ni kwenda stage ama ni nini?
Ni kumoto manze.
Ni kunoma.
Ni kumoto. But in a positive way. We have waited for a year, I should say. And it appears it was worth the wait. I cannot say confidently that we will not get to State House, because the day is not yet over. There are some of our comrades who have managed to get to the gates of State House. And probably they will breach State House by dawn.
But mliambiwa State House is a no-go zone, it's a protected area. Mbona mtaka kubreach hiyo, ni nipi nyinyi?
We have 3 constitutional provisions on how to take out a president. By the look of things, Ruto is not dying anytime soon. He has not been diagnosed with mental incapacitation as it is. And the MPs are not willing to impeach William Ruto because he has pocketed the August House. So to Kenyans, the only option left, and to us, the only option left, is to chase him out of State House. And State House is a public office. Yes, it is a protected area, but it should be protected from terrorists, not from citizens. Citizens are always in State House. People get to State House almost every other day. There are functions in State House almost every other day. But when they get to State House in those days, it's not termed as a breach of a protected area. So, in my own understanding, it's a protected area from criminals and from terrorists. And the way I see it, we are not terrorists and we are not criminals. And that is a public office and a public residence. We have every right to get to State House and chase Ruto from State House because he is not doing right by the Kenyan people.
Luciana, umekuwa kwa hizi demos, si mara ya kwanza, umekuwa frontline. Sasa uko hapa as Kenye James amesema siku haijaisha, mission ilikuwa kwenda State House. Leo imekuaje compared to the other demonstrations? Na pia niulize Kenye nimeuliza Mr. Mila hapa, have you achieved kenye mlikuwa nataka kuachieve leo?
Yes, let me say we have achieved, but at least we have sent the message. Tumeambia Mr. President, tulikuwa tumekuja State House, but now hayuko. So hatuwezi ingia place yenye hayuko. Yeye ndiye tulikuwa tuna haja na yeye. State House tushafika. So tunataka mwenyeji. Na so
simuite basi mahali mtakuwa.
But sasa ndio tunaongoja sasa akuje. Ndio sasa tuende. Unajua wewe enda housewarming kama mwenyewe hayuko. Yeah, so State House uko tuenda housewarming, but juu hayuko. So we are going to wait for him to come back and then we go there and do the housewarming the party because it is a tag that is being used to renovate the State House. Yes.
Kwanza umesema story ya renovations. Kuna mwenye alikuwa amesema okay, umesema ulikuwa umeenda housewarming. Acha nipate Bazu pia niambie. Pia ulikuwa umeenda housewarming ama ulikuwa umeenda kuangalia mjengo umefikia wapi?
Okay, goal ilikuwa tu ile moja. Tulikuwa tunataka kuongea na mtu personally, atupe resignation letter yake tu in short, but tumefika ni vile yuko, but we are coming. Hatujachoka bado.
Chief.
Message bado ni hiyo. Ukiona vile sisi tumeclad hapa hivi, it is because it is business. Tuko hapa business. Na one of our agendas ilikuwa ni kufika State House. Not just to go there kuangaliana tutabasamu zi. Tulikuwa na information ambayo tulikuwa tunataka kufikisha kule. And we only trusted ourselves enough to make sure that hiyo information itafika kule. We didn't want kupitia kwa watu wengine ati sijui pitia huku and then information itafika and that's enough. Because many times tumepitisha information alafu inakuja inaishia wapi? Hapa kwa polisi. Yeah, so this time round kama Gen Z tulikuwa tumeamua pana, enough is enough, lazima tufike huko, grievances zetu zitasikika zikiwa kule. Mbogi imekuwa sawa kabisa, the streets everywhere. Ukiangalia from Thika Road, ukienda Jogoo Road, ukikuja hii side ingine, side za Chiromo, youth walikuwa wametokea, and it is not kitu rahisi kupata youth wamekuja wote mara moja hivyo. It means there is something that is really burning them. Na hii ndio kitu ambao tunataka kuaddress. So one of the ways in which you can get to speak to the government, it is by demonstration. It is enshrined in the constitution. Na tutaifanya vizuri kabisa. Sisi wenyewe si waoga. President ni amekuwa mwoga, ametoka ameenda. Sisi tulikuwa tunataka kwenda kuongea tunayo kumsalimia.
Before nikuje kwa Lavani, story ya goons leo experience, kumekuwa na goons, the last demos walikuwa escorted na polisi. Leo imekuaje?
Goons have been there. I won't deny it. Kwa sababu watu huku town wenye wameibiwa.
Acha leo.
The previous one, goons walikuwa wameletwa. Now that is violation of our rights. Yeah? Because to start off with, unajua tu vizuri these are goons, alafu unawabeba kwa gari yenye sisi wenyewe tumelipia taxes. You ferrying them from wherever they are, unawaleta CBD only to mess around with us, to tarnish our names, to tarnish the image of Gen Zs. That was not fair at all. A lot of people huko nje wamechapwa, wameumizwa because of those goons. And now the government has taken opportunity of this to weaponize poverty. Wanajua vizuri wakipatia huyu kijana 500, lazima atatokea street, bora tumempatia rungu na nini akuja ajiwakilisha hapa hivi. But that is not okay. That is not what we want. We want better.
Lavani, conduct ya polisi leo imekuaje? Yes, we've been complaining about police brutality, kutumia force against protesters. Leo imekuaje?
Still polisi ni wale tu, hatujaona mabadiliko makubwa how they have handled the protesters, because one thing is that these protests were peaceful from the beginning, and even if you came early in the morning, you will see crowds of people were gathering and they were simply chanting and singing songs of revolution. And that is what they were doing. There was no provocation, there was nothing. And then all of a sudden the tear gas were thrown at the crowds, and of course that causes mayhem. And that is how things now escalate into something different. Already we have cases that are being reported of gunshot wounds, and already there are people who have been killed in Olkalau and other parts of Kenya. So the police, as it stands today, they are still the same chap. They have learned nothing, although they have tried to restrain themselves at the moment, but we still see the same traits that have been seen in previous demonstration. There are reports of police brutality, reports of use of excessive force, disrupting peaceful demonstration, and also murder, an outright murder. These are things that are happening even as we speak right now.
James, yes, Gen Z mlikuwa mnasema mko leaderless, but utasemaji historia ya politicians. Let me give an example of tumocheki Maraga amekuwa, Kalonzo pia amekuwa kwa demo za leo. Utasemaje that political class yenye imekuwa before kujaribu kuingilia demo, sisemi kuingilia but ku participate kwa demos zenye ni za Gen Z? Do you feel like they are trying to ride on your movement?
Personally, I want Kalonzo, Gachagua, Omtata, Matiang'i and Maraga from appropriating our protest to themselves. And they did exactly that. In the morning, Kalonzo, Wamalwa and other opportunists went to parliament to probably lay a bouquet of flowers at the precincts of parliament. Who had told them to do that? Where were they when we were being shot? Where were they when we were getting abducted? Where were they when the police officers were misusing and abusing their power? When we said impeach President William Ruto last year, not this year, where was Kalonzo? He has 25 MPs in parliament. Has he convinced one member of parliament from his own party, not any other party, from his own party, to draft a motion to impeach William Ruto? No, he has not done that. What has Maraga done? For 1 year, they have had time to probably fix this country or make efforts towards that. They have the power, they have the numbers, they have the influence, they have MPs in parliament. What has Gachagua done about it? All he chants about is one term, giving us the illusion that we have to wait till 2027 to take out William Ruto. We said at the gates of Central Police Station that William Ruto is a half-term president. You can see that reality now, because we do not speak the same language as the politicians. They speak a language of politics, we speak a language of revolution.
So sahi hata mtu mwenye amekuwa kwa leadership before akuje aseme anajiunga na Gen Z, still Gen Z have no room for such people.
We do not have a room for politicians, especially the opportunists, the likes of Kalonzo and Gachagua and Wamalwa. We do not have time for them. Probably we might look the other way when Omtata is mentioned because he's fought for this country, and probably Maraga. But for the opportunities that we already know are opportunists, there isn't a difference between Kalonzo, Gachagua and Raila. The difference is Raila is on the other side of the fence. These guys are on this other side of the fence, but they are still entertaining William Ruto and possibly eating from State House through a back door. There has been rumors that Kalonzo has been visiting State House in the night, and it is possible he gets his handouts from State House. That is why he's not willing to impeach.
Ni poa umesema ni rumors. Ni pate yako Luciana pia, do you still hold the same views that our senior wamekuwa kwa leadership positions before hawafai kabisa kutokea mahali Gen Z wako?
Yes, according to me, yes. They should sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie.
And enjoy the movie. Walitoe popcorns.
Yes, walitoe popcorns. Unajua, also they should also consider their age. Hautaki waseme tujua walikuwa juu ya tear gas. Ili pesa wameiba yenye metosha, let them sit back home and enjoy that. And also they give us a chance to fight for what belong to us. Then after that, tukishamaliza kufight, tukisha bring down, then you're going to bring them in book, because to be honest, even I'm just going to be honest, even with the people that are being supported with most Gen Zs, even we can't say even Okiya Omtata is that clean. We can't say even that the Maraga is that clean. You see, nobody is clean in this regime. We need to deal with them.
But sasa mnatakaje sahi, you know that mnasema
wakae home.
But hamna kiongozi.
Okay, it's according to them. We are okay the way we are. Let them sit back home.
Haven't we achieved a lot, this leaderless as we are? Haven't we? There isn't any politician who's brought as many people on the streets as us. There isn't any politician who's achieved as much as we have in 1 year. Even Raila Odinga himself is a testament to this.
But mkisema mnataka kuchukiza positions, hakuna msemo yamejitokeza labda ni sawa. Mnasema Ruto must go. Yes, ataenda ni sawa. Kama ataenda, mtaweka nani hapo na identify that one? Msemo mmoja mnasema labda huyu ndo kiongozi wetu, labda akiongea tutamsikiza. Naona nataka kunijibu.
Okay.
Mpate chance aongee.
Okay, nilikuwa nataka kusema hivi. For now, we know we have youth who want to vie for presidency seat 2027. But for now, we are not waiting for 2027. Between now and 2027, there are 2 years. And we are not going to sit here and watch them when they are wasting our task. So, we want to need to make them to be accountable for. Sawa. Even that person, Okiya Omtata, has been there. Ni kesi ngapi metupeleka tuambie like this what have succeeded. The MCAs, si wamekuwa kutumia tax. The MPs, wamekuwa kutumia tax. Even the Kasongo have been using our tax. So even though tunasema kwanza tuwasumbue kwanza before tufike 2027 about election, huko tukifika tutajua nani tutapea kura.
Tutajulia mbele.
Tutajua mbele.
Pate chance aongee pia
amebonga fiti sana. Just but to back up, we were very keen to announce the leaders that we had before. And wanasema once beaten twice shy. We saw what happened. We had the likes of Morara. We had the likes of
kwanza Morara amesema amequit politics kabisa.
Yeah? Tuliona hata akiquit, but you see those are the people that we had fronted. We were so comfortable. We were so confident with them. Our parents were so confident with them. Tulikuwa tunajua with these people, tunaenda mbele. Everybody knew. But then what happened? Simply because Gava ilikuja ikajua this is the person that we have on ground, wakaamua kuwanunua. This time round tunaenda vita, lakini macho iko open. Hatuende kama tumefunga. We have our leaders. Let it be known tuko na leaders. Right now, we are not leaderless. We have our leaders. But we are very cautious enough to know that this is not the right moment ya kuja ku announce.
Na our leaders ni nyinyi mnawajua ama hadi Gen yako Kitui sasa anajua kiongozi wangu ni mtu fulani.
Tunajua, and in fact tumeweka mechanisms on ground so that to make sure tuko na people, tuko na representatives each and every region. Through these representatives, they will get to know who we are fronting for forward as our leaders.
Aya, wakili ameingia hapo sasa hii. Demo za leo zimekuaje? Na wajua umekuwa hapo asubuhi, tumekuwa na in studio leo, ukiangalia imekuaje hivi? Nimeuliza wengine pia tukianza.
Asante sana majibu. My name is Joel Oluoch and I'm a lawyer, but today we are here to commemorate, because the main reason why we came to the streets was to commemorate our comrades that we lost in the past 1 year, 25th June. It was the anniversary. We were actually celebrating the pain. We were trying to tell everyone that whatever happened then was wrong, and we should never get to that point as a country. That is why we were in the streets. Number two, we were also in the streets trying to tell this government that they have been there for 2 years and they have done nothing. And it is very wrong to be on top and do nothing. Malema says that when you're on top and you're doing nothing, you should be ousted immediately. So we were outside there telling the government that all of it, there's nothing good that they've given this country. They have deprived us of development. There's no progress. Our economy is down. All government structures look so mundane, like they don't matter. People don't respect the authority. People don't respect the presidency, position that is so much coveted, because that is a position for the people. People don't even respect State House. So today, as my opinion, just for a few people who are not Gen Zs, we infiltrated the process to rob people. This was one of the most perfect protests that I've seen myself.
Na sasa nikuulize, yes, Gen Zs walikuwa wanasema wanataka kuingia State House.
Yes.
Does it have any significance in law, labda wakimanage kuingia State House? Hiyo iko na any meaning in law that labda Gen Zs they have the power now in their hands, ama katiba inasemaje in that sense?
They'll impeach the president. That's you know, the Constitution, Article 1 of the Constitution gives the people the power, okay? And this power is exercised directly or indirectly. So in this context, the people were going to exercise their power directly. And what is the messaging of what they are expressing is that we are impeaching the president. So in that context, if we annex it to Article 1 of the Constitution, we would say that they would impeach the way they did impeach Parliament. Okay? So such things, if brought into context, we have to also take them seriously, because the power first belongs to the people, which they lend, in a layman term, they lend to their leaders, the people in authority. So the people who are there in positions of power should also understand that right now I am given this position, and I'm here in my capacity as a member of parliament for Kigumo, or a member of parliament for Homa Bay, or wherever you are, or the president of the Republic of Kenya, but in my capacity as being given this power by the people. So when the people comes for this power, I give them back to them.
Acha niongee na James kidogo. Yes, after leo mmekuwa mkiongea mtandaoni, yes, kuna hiyo June 25th anniversary sha happen leo. After leo, what next for the Gen Zs?
Because we did not achieve what we had set out to achieve. Because laying flowers at the precincts of Parliament was not enough. And we have realized that negotiating with the police and William Ruto does not work. The zenith of these demonstrations was breaching State House and impeaching the president. And because we've not achieved that, we might achieve that before dawn tomorrow. But because we have not yet achieved that, there is no stopping. I will assure you that these Gen Zs will come back to the streets, whether next week, tomorrow, or the week after next week, and we will still march to State House. I don't see us stopping.
Nimeona Lavana akicheka vimekuuliza hiyo swali. Lavana unasemaje juu hiyo story?
Okay, I think we need to understand the keys. What is the genesis of all that we are going through as a nation today? It is because we are a nation that has a lot of potential, but what we are experiencing is poverty, denied or delayed dreams, lack of opportunities for young people, lack of employment, lack of good governance and accountability with our leaders. Because we cannot live in a nation whereby 898 million is allocated to State House every day. But when you go to Kenyatta National Hospital, we have dilapidated infrastructure. People are sleeping on people are sleeping on the floor. Surgeries are not performed because of lack of resources at the KNH. And that is what we are saying. We have misplaced priorities. Let's come and talk about the debt of this country, which is about 12 trillion Kenyan shilling today as it stands. The question is, where was this money sent to? Was it approved at the parliament? And why are we servicing 70% of our GDP going to debt repayment? But that debt did not benefit us as people, the people of the republic. We cannot have politicians flashing around 7 million worth of watches and belts and shoes and living in luxury, while our children and our young ones are studying in ramshackles in schools. So that is the thing and the pain that is in the heart of many Kenyans. And when you see these young people coming out on the street, is because they have gone to school and they have more education, but they are poorer than their parents. And they want that to change. And it begins not because, you see, like if you are to go to the street today, you'll find young people selling smokies by the roadside. Not because they do not have education. They have the education. They are brilliant. But this country and the leadership of this nation has no opportunity for such people. That is why you are seeing them giving out. They are ready to give up their lives just because they want to see a better country, a different nation. So today we do believe the problem that we are facing as a nation, we as a generation that is rising today, is because of bad leadership. We can pinpoint it to bad leadership because we are prioritizing the wrong thing. And ignoring what is supposed to be invested into. So, for example, education is key. Even right now as we speak, artificial intelligence and technological advancement are happening. Look at Iran and Israel exchanging missiles when the countries are 2,000 kilometers apart, miles apart. What about Kenya? Do we have the defense system? For example, in 2019, we had COVID-19, which devastated our health system. If today there is a virus or a pandemic that will maybe is global and is more severe than COVID-19, do you think as a nation we are ready? Are we prepared? And do you believe that is because, look at our universities. We have been churning students every year, year in, year out. Look at what has happened. We are still relying on foreigners to build our roads and our infrastructure. That cannot continue to happen.
Acha nianze na kiongozi hajaongea for quite some time. Nianze na wewe. Leaders wameongea jana. Mururungano alisema that they are ready to meet the families of victims. Pia wameendelea kuongea wengine. Is there room labda Gen Z wanaweza hata kuwakubali basi sawa, tunataka dialogue, tuongee basi kitu iishe? Hiyo chance bado kama hiyo ilienda kitambo.
Okay, to me that's a joke, Joe. It's been a year. For that one whole year hakuna mahali wamekuwa, si ndio? Hata wakuwa na hii story kwa ina affect mahali.
Na mbushike mic nini sauti wanataka kukusikia huko State House.
Ni joke serious. Cause one year wajakuwa hapo. They've not been talking about this issue until to erase sawa. Tuseme tunataka justice. Now after we want justice, now they want to cover it up. Now they want to talk to the families. Then we've had even videos kuna wazazi washaongea na Ruto, but nothing happens, nothing change. So to us wasituletea hiyo Kiswahili. Hiyo Kiswahili ni ya kitambo, imepitwa na wakati.
Naweza msaidia?
Aya, msaidie tu briefly, time inaenda.
When Kelvin Kiptum left us, the marathoner, the president hurriedly build him a ramshackle of a house kwa sababu hiyo kitu ilijengwa hapo si nyumba. And they promised that they will donate.
Sasa hata nyumba amejengewa, jamii unataka nyumba ikae aje?
Hiyo si nyumba. They said they would donate 5 million shillings to that family. To this very day, that family cries and begs Ruto for the 5 million shillings he promised. Sasa mimi nilishangaa ati baba ya Albert Ojwang ako excited over a promise of 2 million shillings from someone as mendacious as Ruto. Yani muongo anakuambia nitakupea na unakubali uongo. Yani wewe jameni ndio uko na shida.
Acha niongee na Luciana hapo. Okay, tumekuwa tukiongelea story ya police brutality. Acha leo pia Lavani amesema experience the same cases, but kuna videos zimekuwa zikienda viral. Utaongeleaje zile instances zenye ni polisi anafukuzwa sana mawe, wanamshika wanamuona
siwezi kupiga kama hujanipiga. Lazima alikuwa ameprovoke watu. Alafu they create environment yenye mimi nikiona askari naona ni mtumba, nikiona tu uniform naona tu anakuja tu kunimaliza. So when I get that chance pia mimi nita revenge. So yes, retaliate. Ni negro.
So unasema okay, wana retaliate.
Ndio hiyo sasa juu okay wewe umenipiga. Sio? Okay, mbona unataka mimi nikupige? Sitaki kujua kama mwenye alinipiga si yeye nimepatana na yeye. As long as we wear the same uniform, as long as we're not polisi, I will deal with you bwana. And abadho ungetuma maandamano hata ungeosema sick off kama utaki kukuja ungesema I'm not feeling well so I won't make it kwenda. So si uko maandamano umekuja uko na bunduki uko na tear gas. So ukimesi kidogo pia mimi niko na mawe zangu napita na wewe.
Tear gas ikisha kana umana.
Hata before jaisha hata kama bado uko nayo tutakufuata tu na nyuma tukupate nini mawe.
Aya, wacha niongee na kiongozi hapo. Utaongelea historia ya social media. Juu imekuwa tool sana kwa mobilization agencies, kila kitu imekuwa kwa hashtag pale X. Utaongelea hiyo story bana, pia mnogopa governors za wakazia pia sisi tumefungiwa. Umeona CK leo wamebonga mazao wamesema tumefanya noma sana leo, wame switch off signet kwa some stations, hata sisi tumefungiwa. Utaongeleaje power ya social media za tool ya mobilize agencies?
It is very unfortunate mazeti tunafika ile enzi. We are very much miles ahead. Ile kiwango yenye sisi kama nchi tumefika si ile ya kuzima social media, si ile ya kuzima kuswitch off networks. Hiyo ndio kazi yenye tunasikia ikifanyika in our neighboring countries, yeah? And it is just sick enough yani to hear that social media imekuwa blocked. It is sick enough to hear that atukubaliwi ku demonstrate in town, so people are even being blocked. Kuna watu wenye Thika Road. Now they do not want us to share live images of what is happening, but it is my phone. It is my right to communicate. My right to communicate is not limited verbally. Naweza nikaipost somewhere so that I get the masses that I want. This is the right that I have as an individual, as a citizen of Kenya. Lakini tukisikia gava imefika place yenye sasa inafunga ndio watu huko nje wasijue Kenya inaendelea, then it means we are headed as to the wrong direction as a country. Hatufai tukuwe tunaongea mambo saizi ya internet kukuwa switched off. The internet actually has been switched off kidogo because we are not even able to share exactly what is happening, and this is not working well for us kwa sababu we get to such points and then unasikia somebody aliangushwa mahali fulani and now we don't have news about it because the network has been switched off.
Wacha niongeleshe watazamaji kidogo. Tumefungiwa by the way pia sisi Star Times, Signet na Pang. Kama tutafuta huko mazee noma sana leo. Wametufanyia ile kitu. Tuko live DSTV na Go TV na online pale CTV mazee. Wacha nimalizie alafu nikuje kwa kiongozi hapo. Hiyo story ya kukaziwa online alafu pia nipate kauli yake on the same.
Exactly, that is not even fair enough. Yeah? Hebu angalia hivi. Sisi kama majenzi most of the times utatupata tuko kwa mtandao online. Utatupata hata tumeketi kwenye TV. The news we get it from our phones. But now they deciding to block us, to cut us off so that we cannot pass the message. We are telling the government that is so shameful of them. They are stooping so low.
Wacha nipate pia wakili on the same as tumefungiwa juu ya kutetea agencies as a media house. Star Times, Signet na Punk saya tupatikani. Shoshangu amenitext bana anazungusha aerial hanioni. Utaongeleaje bana on the same?
That is very unfortunate because we are a country that is guided by the rule of law, and we are a country that is guided by the constitution, and that is a document that needs to be respected. Not in its capacity as a document, but it is law in itself. Article 33, I don't know, is it 33 or Article 34 that gives you right to access of information, and then Article 34 gives you freedom of media. So it is enshrined in the Constitution, and we are protected. And I don't see any right that the media has violated so that they can just decide. You know, this is just someone's decision who woke up feeling unwell and decided that today I want to deprive the country of information. So when they saw this being aired, because these are people who are expressing themselves, they were expressing their disgust on this government. They were telling this government that you promised us, you told us that you will revive our economy in 100 days. What have you done towards it? You killed our comrades. Have you compensated them as you said? You said you will not kill them anymore. And while I was in the previous interview, I saw someone shot. I don't know whether he was shot dead, but he could not move. We're just waiting for the medical personnel to tell us, to give us a proper response on the same. So we have to talk about these things. So having the government take it upon itself to switch off the media, it is something that we're not taking seriously, because the next time they will try to switch off the internet. So if we see that K24 has been stopped from airing in the CAK controlled networks, it is something that we have to talk about, and it is something that we have to condemn with the strongest possible terms, my friends have said here. Okay? And I repeat, that was just my submission. Now I'm telling them now. Yeah. Which camera should I look at?
To me,
I'm telling this government, I please retain, protect the rights of the people of this country, and do it as it is stipulated in the Constitution. They have given you that power, that authority. They have lent you. So lead with caution. Don't lead them as if it belongs to you.
Niluzilu sana kidogo. Do you think government inatumia so many resources kudeal na watu wenye hata they're so harmless? Because mlisema natokea na flags, na maji, wengine wamebeba toothpaste ya kupambana nao na tear gas. But hadi kwenye tuko sahi still kuna machapa zinapita huko juu. Do you think government pia inatumia so much kudeal na kitu yenye labda according to you ni kitu ndogo sana?
To me sahi penye imefika, let them use. Because if now they think using buying tear gas is better than buying medicine, it's better than providing a good education, then them do so. Because that's the kind of stupid leaders we have. They think backwards. They don't, yani, sijui wanafikiria nini. Ebu imagine, and also by the way, to be honest, hawa askari tunawalipanga wanashina kwa kambi wamekaa. That is tumewapea kazi. They should say thank you to us. Tumewake busy. Unaona? Yeah, watu tuwake busy, so umetukimbiza, wamefanya exercise. By the way, wengine walikuwa wameongeza utambi. At least wamekimbia na sisi, mikono imestretch, juu kutupatia gas. They should say thank you to us. Unaona?
Gen Z imekuwa free trainers.
No, unajua nasema hivyo ni kujuu. Ukiangalia the way these people they have been using our tax. Wanaona ni kama watu wanafikiria backwards, ndio? So if they cannot use the tax in that way, na if na jupia hatutaki waibe hiyo tax. So wache basi waitumie na tear gas, hiyo kulipa askari wenye umetumika leo, mafuta ya magari ya leo. Yes.
Haya, naomba nisuulize swali lingine. But na kurudisha studio kidogo. Kagina, umesikia majenzi bana wameongea. Kwenye tuko sasa bado machopa zinapita. Narudi studio briefly, but tuko tunaendelea, bado tutarudi na few. Kwanza tusikie news za saa moja wanasemaje. Studio.
Na majibu, thank you so much kwa kuengage wa Kenya. Tunasikia chenye wanasema na vile street kumekuwa. So back in studio here, bado tuko na guests pia, and we will be engaging them in a few. But meanwhile, it's important tutajie watazamaji wetu kwamba K24 and Kameme TV signals have been switched off. Zimezimwa na Communications Authority of Kenya kufuatia the initial warning yenye walikuwa wametoa that we do not carry the protest and demonstrations live, which we continued. However, aluta continua. You can continue following our broadcast live on our social media pages, that is Twitter, Facebook, as well as X at K24 TV na pia Kameme TV. And now, probably just to get to introduce my guests here in studio, ndio tuende kusikia wao wamekuaje kwenye street na mambo hali ilikuwa vipi. Starting from my immediate right, we have Joshua Okayo ambaye sasa ni kiongozi tunaita the Revolutionary Gen Z Movement. Karibu sana K24. Yes, we also have John, jina la pili utansamehe, John Kirogo. Yes, ambaye ni he's a leader as well, but most importantly he's a community development expert. Na unaona wote walikuwa street leo, na mwisho tuko na Alam Othiambo. Karibu sana K24, coordinator of the same movement. And just to start with Alam, leo ulikuwa street, naona Colgate usoni ama ni rangi gani? Have you achieved what you went to do?
Yes, again, here is Chief Alam, coordinator Revolutionary Gen Z Movement, RGM. Rangi ambayo usoni ni Colgate ambayo inatusaidia kupunguza makali ya tear gas. Yes.
Na kilichokupeleka street leo, did you achieve that?
Tukumbuke ya kwamba one reason why tulikuwa kwa street was to remember our comrades who lost their lives tragically last year, and we went to the streets to remember them, to take flowers where they were killed, to remember them basically. But on that remembering them, we also know that they died with some dreams on them. They died believing that Ruto will not make it 2027. Actually, Rex Masai does not know that Ruto. He knows that we finished with Ruto last year. So we know that the dream of Rex Masai is still living, and we are going to finish and achieve that dream for Rex Masai. Fortunately, we have achieved partly, but the journey continues. The journey is going to continue, and we are going to make sure that this system that oppresses the people, the system that continuously oppress the people and do not listen to the people, is thrown away, and a reasonable system is brought into play.
All right, and to John Kirogo, yesterday we had the police walitoa statement wakasema, you know what, niendeleni na protest, this is your constitutional right, this is how to go about it. Situation ilikuwa aje wewe from where you sat? Coordination, did you properly coordinate with security agencies?
Kagina, first of all, I would like you to know that this government was based or anchored in lies, and now it cannot say the truth, because leo the demonstration was very peaceful. In fact, tulikuwa tunacheza hapo football tukiongoja wenzetu wafike ndio tuanze maombi, tuwekelee maua na tuombe na hayo yote, but the police made sure that we did not achieve the prayers and remembrance of our fellow comrades, kwa sababu walitupa tiaga. So hiyo kitu walisema jana ni uongo, kwa sababu leo tulikuwa na peaceful demonstration. It is them who destroyed that maandamano and the remembrance of the fellow GNZs, kwa sababu they wanted just to justify that we are people who like chaos. Another thing, you've seen someone has been shot in Olkalau. Yesterday we went to the OCS, personally I and my fellow young liberators, we went to the OCS office to ask for permit so that they can give us security, because of course they knew maandamano will be there. It has already been announced nationwide. But we went to request for security because we wanted it to be peaceful. But today they have shot one of us. So the police should not lie that they wanted a peaceful demonstration. They just wanted to do a formality and make us appear like we are violent people. So hiyo ni uongo, na maandamano ya leo waliharibu kwa sababu walikuwa wanataka ikuwe hivyo through their leader who is William Samoei Ruto.
Well, Okayo, he indeed states that demonstrations were very peaceful save for mahali polisi waliamua mlie kidogo, but pia tumeshuhudia goons wakipora maduka za watu. What would you have to say about that? Tumeona duka zimeporwa, kama sasa tunaongea Quickmart OTC iliporwa karibu yote, duka ambazo zinapakana nayo pia vile vile. People have faced losses today. What would you say about that?
I think it's very unfortunate that even after we have made arrangements to ensure that we have the most peaceful of protests, we still experience destruction of property, theft and all that. Myself, I haven't witnessed. I think I was so engraved into the action that I didn't get to see any other thing happening around, because there's a certain route that I focused on. But that said, I want to believe that those that go to other people's shops are not actual protesters who come to the streets to protest. Those are goons, as you've rightfully put it. And goons, in most cases, are always mobilized by a certain group of people. They are never organic. Goons coming to rob people of their property are never organic. So there must be someone behind the goons that were in CBD, destroying property. And that brings me to the statements that were made by some political leaders before today, one of whom is the Tiati Member of Parliament, Kamket. And he said that they are going to ensure that they do anything and everything possible to interfere with our peaceful protests. And he was saying that they will send goons to Nairobi to disrupt our peaceful protests. So if there were goons in the CBD and you said this has been witnessed, then they must be answerable. William Kamket, this MP from Kisii, what is the name? Osoro, and there's a third person. So they must be answerable, and they must tell us why they are sending goons to come and disrupt peaceful protests, so that then we are seen as goons, we are seen as anarchists. That's the word they love. And then we are seen as people who want to just destroy things and are not here for a good agenda. So that is not for us to speak about, because we believe they are masters that have sent these goons to CBD. But again, it's important to note that not all of us protesters, even protesters who come to the streets, come with good intention. People are facing different things, and people are living different lives. A majority, probably 98%, are coming to the streets because they are feeling the heat, they are feeling the economic situations in the country, and they want change for Kenya. They want a better Kenya. But we have that 2 or 1.5% that comes to also enrich themselves within that within the protest. And I'm a good example of a victim of the protest, because my phone has been stolen today, during that during the action. But either way, I think that is just a collateral. Sometimes things must happen, and certain things must happen for us. Because had I not been so focused on the protest, maybe I would not have done what I've been able to do in my space. But because I was so focused that I didn't even realize someone was getting into my pockets to get my phone, then I think there are certain things that I was able to achieve as an individual. Goons are sent by people that some of whom we already know, because we've seen people before in cameras instructing people to go and destroy properties, and they're being paid 500, 1,000 Kenya shillings. But I look forward to a country where protests will be peaceful. And I'm saying that very intentionally, because I don't think protests will ever end. Protests will not end because the state as it is has established that they cannot listen to us. And Martin Luther King Jr. says that protest is the language of the unheard. So the more they don't listen to us, the more we shall go to the streets.
All right, and Alam, probably coming to you, other than the people who we are stealing from other businesses and also fellow demonstrators, then there was this special category of human beings who are burning tires. Katikati ya barabara wanaeka taya, wanachoma, wanafunga. In one way or another, that would not be termed as very peaceful. What's your take on that?
Just like my colleague has said, we know that there are several agendas that were being pushed to make the youthful protest look violent, and to give police reasons to disrupt us. And if you are a politician trying to mobilize youths to come and fulfill that agenda, you will tell them, go and burn tires in the middle of the road, so that the police will therefore have a reason to use violence on peaceful protesters. So that one itself is not organic. But again, we must also know that people themselves, the young people, if you saw yesterday, the young people took their time to send videos on social platforms. Some of them even sent letters, their letters of obituary, saying that if I die, this is how it should be done. And the ending there, sorry ma'am, I just have to do it. That one tells you the situation in the country right now. The youths who are out there, learned, jobless, are really bleeding. And they're pleading with this government to listen to them. So the frustrations among the young people can also push the young people to do some things which are extraordinary. And some of them might be the things we saw today.
All right. And probably now to John, meona tumezimiwa. Kama saizi tushazimwa. We are currently online. What do you make of this? Because tumezimwa juu yenu, actually, covering what the Gen Zs were actually doing today.
So, Kagina, there is something unique about this government, which is very bad if I say so. We have a government that fears children. We have a government that fears the truth to be told to the people. And we have a government that do not want to be advised. You know, of late, William Ruto has been adding advisors, thinking that those who are there are not advising him well. But the problem is him himself. So that is the problem we have in this country. In fact, from today, we are not telling William Ruto to listen to us because we know he doesn't. We've told him a lot of many things. He has not been listening. Our agenda today is now one. If half term is possible, the better. If one term is possible, it's still okay, but we will prefer half term instead of one term. The reason as to why he's shutting the media, it is because he knows his goose has been cooked. Everyone knows he's the one who has been hiring goons. It is in public domain. His MPs like Kamket and the others, they have been preaching that gospel even before the maandamano. And you could see today, you were streamlining it while I was there watching. The people who are stealing from Quickmart, the police are not even bothered. It's like they are being given protection. Wanarushiwa tu tear gas moja, alafu wanakaka hivi, badala police wakae hapo protect that property, wanaenda. They give them a whole 30 minutes and then they come, they do another one, you know, like showing people just for formality that they are doing something to protect Quickmart. So that is how this government operates. So I'm telling you, do not worry, because you did a very good job inside the law to show live coverage of what is happening in the nation. This maandamano has been done in Nyeri, in Narok, in Nyandarua, probably everywhere in the whole country. So that is what the government is fearing, people to know the truth, that the country has angry and hungry people. That is what they are hiding, that is why they are shutting down the media. If they were men enough, they would have come here and tell us contrary opinion to what we have. And we are reasonable people, we are learned people. We can tell this is a lie, this is the truth. But I told you earlier, this government is anchored in lies. That is why it cannot want any truth to be to be spoken to the people. Thank you.
All right, Okayo, wewe ni wakili. When you look at this situation of the Communications Authority of Kenya, initially we had it was actually 12th November 2024 when Justice Lawrence Mugambi issued directives saying that the Communications Authority of Kenya has no mandate to regulate what goes on media. And that is entirely the sole role of the Media Council of Kenya. When we see a blatant violation of such a court ruling, what do you make of it?
You see, and before I get to that, it's very unfortunate that there is media gagging in a technological world, in a technological era, and that the state is so, you know, they are so tensed that they feel that should they give the media their freedom that is enshrined in the Constitution, then probably it's going to be over for them. And that, first of all, even before we go to how unfortunate it is, it should tell you the power that the media holds. It's a great power. Because then they believe, should you continue showing what is happening? Should you continue showing what has happened today? Then this government might go home sooner than they expected. That's why they are now shutting down the media. But getting back to the legal side of it, there's a lot of overlap between institutions. And if you look at statutes, CAK has, that is the Communications Authority of Kenya, has some powers. All right? Has some powers that essentially should be given to the Media Council of Kenya. So we have two institutions overlapping their roles and their roles and responsibilities sort of overlapping, and their powers overlapping. And that's a problem. The fact that the court determined the case and said that a provision that provides for CAK to regulate what should be shown by the media is unconstitutional. Okay, it's a good progress, and I applaud the judiciary for that. But then there is the other side, that it has not been repealed. That is the problem we face. People challenge provisions in court. The court gives recommendations, and the court says that this provision in this statute is unconstitutional, but then it never gets to be repealed. So if today you want to sue CAK for shutting the media, they will refer you to that provision. But then there will be a legal battle. That is when they'll get into the nitty-gritties of saying that we have a precedent. So sometimes they don't even give, they don't give attention to the precedent that has been set. They don't get to decided case laws.
But looking at it, among the principal the principal things of the matter was that MCK has no proper regulatory framework to protect children and the vulnerable. And so when the ruling was being made, then MCK was given 6 months to come up with regulations that would in turn seal that loophole. On 15th May 2025, MCK actually launched its child protection and new guidelines, which involves even the use of AI. Now that, would that mean then that since MCK complied with the court orders, then the powers were automatically transferred to them?
By all means, the powers were automatically transferred to them. And I think it's also really good that that the paramountcy principle is in play. Paramountcy principle is basically the principle that children's rights are always paramount. Children's rights come first in any situation, and I think that's a very good move, by the courts, and even recommending that MCK comes up with such regulations. But this is what we call impunity. Impunity is institutions and individuals doing the wrong things, but they never get punished for doing the wrong things. MCK has been given the power and the rights to control what the media shows. But then CAK comes in and says, we shall usurp your powers and actually do that which you're supposed to do, to control, and not control it legally, illegally. All right? So then there's a case. And I think immediately after today, because today has not ended, our comrades are still on the streets. Immediately after today, CAK should be sued.
Right. Actually, speak of it, the Kenya Human Rights Commission have filed a court case contesting the Communications Authority of Kenya's decision to ban the live coverage of the demonstrations today. And probably, but just to get us back to the conversation or the spirit of the day, it started off in the morning. We are currently talking about 6:50 minutes to 7 p.m. John, for the agendas that were there for today, do you feel like they have been achieved? And if so, then what next after 25th? Do we wait for next year, June 25th?
Now, according to me, I think one agenda has been fulfilled. That the youths of this nation have stood firm and told Mr. President that we are unhappy with you. Actually, we did not fulfill the agenda of maybe remembrance event that we had planned, but we've sent a message that the youth of this nation are no longer wanting to listen from the president. They will just wish him to go away. And that is why they were marching today, even to State House. And I hope, and I'm hopefully, those who went to represent us this afternoon as we were coming here at K24 have managed to do that, because that would have been our happiness. We are not tired of seeking what belongs to us. If today is not successful, we are happy because we have made a step further. And tomorrow we will plan to do better, not probably even waiting the 25th of next year, because now the spirit is high, the anger is high. Now we might do it sooner than he expects. So he should not be afraid. The best thing he can do as a president who is concerned about the children of this country probably is to resign and give us his resignation letter. We will be happy about that. Probably to our members of parliament who are facilitating our president to misbehave, we would like to tell them that it is never too far. It is very close, and we are looking at them with 2 eyes. Yeah.
Right. Alam, what next after 25th?
Actually, 25th was not supposed to be protest. Today we were just remembering our comrades.
Sure.
Protests are going to be organized. Protests are going to come more massive than what they have seen today. So we are not stopping now. Our spirits is high. That is why you can see the young people are still trying to find their way to deliver that letter, the letter that we had for William Ruto. They are still trying to find their way to State House. Because delivering that letter was supposed to be a very peaceful move. We could have had police officers just on the sides of the road. We go there, up to State House, we deliver a letter telling William Ruto it is either he rules by the rule of law or he resigns. Two things. Yes. And as by the look of things, he is not willing to rule as per our constitution. So we were going to ask him to resign. But that journey has not been as easy. And when we face that kind of resistance, we are also going to push back. And the young people are still pushing back even right now. Some of them are on their way. We don't know, but we want to believe that the safety of those young people, some of them who are heading home, some of them who are still determined to deliver that letter, their safety will be guaranteed by the government. But protests are going to come, because when the government cannot listen to the people, there are only 2 ways. Either through that election, or we will make this country ungovernable. And when we want to make the country ungovernable, it's simple. Civil disobedience. Civil disobedience to a point that William Ruto will leave office. And that is the stage we are going to.
I will ask you a question that everyone asks immediately after Gen Z manifesto show imeisha. Hamuogopi?
I want just to answer that with a song. Sasa natoa roho yangu iende kukomboa inchi. Sasa natoa roho yangu iende kukomboa inchi. Sasa natoa roho yangu iende kukomboa inchi. Sasa natoa roho yangu iende kukomboa inchi.
All right, well, I think my question is well answered in that statement. Different activities are still ongoing in different parts of the country. Wakenya wamezidi tu kujipanga. Shughuli yenye ilianza mapema naona inaenda tu ikidevelop. There's some places like Kagumo, mahali wamepeleka OCS, Kerugoya Police Station. This and many more developing news utakuwa unapata in our news brief yenye inakuja shortly. However, Gen Z manifesto hata ijaanza. We were just tasting the tip of the iceberg. We'll be coming back with this conversation even as we give a deeper and broader analysis ya nini imehappen leo, nini wameachieve, and what to expect even after here. And we also have a number right there yenye tuna expect mtakuwa mkitupea feedback yenu kuhusu what has happened today and what you anticipate could have happened, or rather what has been achieved or not achieved, and even more. Mbona media tunachokozwa? We are just messengers. We'd want to hear what you have to say about that. But for sasa, allow us to break for news. We'll be back here on Gen Z Manifesto with more.
Magaidi wakaanza kuchokoza jamaa fulani alikuwa gaidi ya Zunyuizi na familia yake. Wewe, kwa nini mnakaa kwa meza yetu? Kwa nini mnakuja kukaa kwa meza yetu? Sasa jamaa wetu Taika kuona hivyo akaumwa. Mwanzo hapa mtazamaji ni kwa restaurant, sio kwa nyanya yako. Hii ni restaurant. Mtu analetwa hapa na pesa zake. Haya! Kaona akiwa na umama, akamuita kamama. Hey! Kamama, pigwa shock. God of Thunder akachomoka biguni akakuingilia. Kanafurahia mwanzo firirida imewekwa. Wewe kwanza kanasikia firirida ni ya Monyonyi, kanasema mambo iko shwari kibisha. Nyitanagira na DJ Junior the Hindi kwambĩrĩria muthenya wa kiumia nginya aramithi ciahanda thaa 4 cia ũtukũ, nario muthenya wa Jumamothi ni ciahanda thaa 10 cia hwaĩ-inĩ.
Matuko maninagwo nĩ gũkĩa na nĩkĩo Farmhold Ventures Limited, kambuni ĩrĩa kũrekaine harĩ wendia na wĩigithia wa ng'ũndũ, ĩtigagĩrĩra nĩ yamũrehera project ciĩngũrani na mwĩhoko mwerũ nĩ gũkorwo kwĩhokwo nĩ ndwano ĩtahĩtagia kĩũngũyũ.
Barabara-inĩ nene ya Thika Garissa Road, o ndagĩka 10 tu kuma taũni nene ya Matu, tũkamũrehera Ikatini Gardens na thogora wa 230,000. Na kuo mwena wa Gĩthioko, o ndagĩka 5 tu kuma Rami-inĩ, tũkamũrehera Evergreen Gardens Phase 2, burodi cia 50 by 100 na thogora wa 130,000.
Na warĩkia kwĩgwatĩra title deed ĩguoko.
No tũcerere wabici-inĩ itũ, Riruton Doctors Plaza 2nd floor, kana wabici itũ ya Thika, Maisha Heights 3rd floor. Namba itũ ya thimũ nĩyo 0704